Hi, everybody. Welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada. And you can find me online at stampingwithmelva.com. It's Thursday today, and I'm a little later than normal. I've been saying that a lot this week, but I had an appointment this afternoon. So I wanted to jump on and share a mystery challenge with you. So earlier today, I posted 3 things that I kind of challenge you to make a card with. So that's kind of the way I do the mystery challenge. Sometimes I'll do a color challenge. Sometimes I'll do a tic-tac-toe or something like that. And this time I just said, make a thank you card using embossing and designer series paper. And it's up to you whether you use heat embossing or an embossing folder or both on your card. But as long as it's a thank you card and has some DSP and some embossing on it, it's all up to you. So I thought I would share. I pulled out, I can't get enough of this. It's the Simply Zinnia bundle, which is the Flowering Zinnia Suite, which will be an online exclusive starting March 5th. It is absolutely one of my favorites, and I know it's going to be one of your favorites too. All right, I'm going to switch over and we'll get started. All right, so this is the Flowering Zinnia. Let's just kind of shift that. There we go. Or actually, this is the Simply Zinnia bundle. I've used it before. So it's this great set stamps, these beautiful sentiments. I'm going to use the thank you, of course, because that was part of the challenge. And then you have the dies, which will cut out the images. Now, these images are at 95%. So you have these images that you can cut out on the leaves. And then look at all of these extra dies that you have. So you can make some 3D zinnias using the dies, and of course the leaves and a stem and some other pieces. I'm going to use these today. They're just kind of little sprigs behind. I know, Betty, things are taking forever. I don't know what's going on. I had one arrive today that took 2 weeks as well. Hopefully that's just something happening going on that's unusual. Okay, and then the other thing that is part of this suite that I am so in love with is this stunning Zinnia 3D embossing folder. It is just so pretty, and I'm using that. So I'm going to actually use both heat embossing and embossing folder on my card today. So let's pull this out. These are my supplies. You can see my color scheme is purple and black. I love purple. If you ever have received packages in the mail, you know that I mail everything in a purple envelope. Not quite this color, but yeah, mine too, Betty. Yeah. So I've got a piece of designer series paper that is 2 inches by 5 1/4. And then a piece of basic black that is, I think, 2 1/4. So just going to have a peekaboo of black. And then I've got a piece of, can you see that beautiful Zinnia embossed image? Hey, Pam. So this is 4 inches by 5 1/4. And I went ahead and embossed that using the embossing folder. And then my card base is 4 1/4 by 11. And we'll score it at 5 1/2. And fold into the mountain or the raised line. And give it a good burnish. Got my bone folder. Okay, so this piece is going to go on here. I did pull some ribbon, so I'm not going to glue this quite yet because I haven't quite decided where my ribbon's going to go. This piece, look at this other side of this designer. This paper is absolutely stunning. Okay, so we can glue that on. I need a new bottle of glue. I had run out of glue earlier today. Okay. So I'm going to use the purple designer series paper because I love it. So we'll just adhere this designer series paper on to this piece of black cardstock, like that. Hold it in place until it sticks. Oh, not too bad. I was thinking it was too long. Okay, and then this designer series paper. One of my favorite layouts, and I'd use this layout a lot, is to take this piece of 4 inches by 5 1/4, and I put my designer series paper, and I'll usually put a layer, a mat behind it, just over about 1/4 of an inch off that left-hand side. If you've seen layouts from me before, it tends to be the one I use. I know, but that's why we, have 2 pieces of that designer series paper so that we can use both sides. And if you need to, you can always trim off the bottom if your piece is just a little bit too big. Okay, not going to glue that on quite yet. Let's do some stamping. So I've got a piece of just basic white, and I'm going to stamp my flower, this beautiful zinnia, in Tuxedo Black Memento. And I put the leaf away. Oops, still had some ink on that. All right, just wipe that off with my finger. I don't know where my baby wipes are. All right, so we'll stamp the flower. And I think that's all I need to do. So I'm going to color. I grabbed some, yeah, that's why we have to buy 2 packages. Exactly. We always need 2 packages of designer series paper. All right, so I grabbed some. This is Highland Heather. So I'm going to start with my flower, and I'm just going to color the whole. Well, actually, I'm going to leave the middle and these little tiny, what look like kind of stars. I'm just going to go around the edge and go around them as much as I can. I thought I'd add some yellow onto this zinnia. One of these days I'm going to go to the I probably could look it online too. I was going to say go to the garden center and look to see what zinnias are, what they look like, because I'm not sure. I know I have seen zinnias. I haven't got any in my garden, but that might change this year. We'll see. Okay, so I'm just coloring the whole zinnia in the light Flirty Flamingo. So these are the Stampin' Blends, which is why I use the Memento. So I always, like I've said this before, I always start with the light, and then I go over it and add some dark in, and then I'll go back over it with the light and just kind of blend out some of the lines that are showing. So we'll go back and we'll add just, I'm not being very exact with this. I'm just kind of going over the lines as they've been added by the concept artist onto the image. So it just kind of looks like there's some shadowing going on, just kind of where the light probably would hit and make it look just a little bit darker. And you don't have to be exact. I'm just kind of going in and adding a little bit. And then I'm going to go back over. I don't know where they grow, Betty. What kind of temperature they need. I'm pretty sure they're annuals. Although I say that, and I don't actually know if they're annuals or perennials. All right, so I'm going to grab, this is, let's see, this is the light Daffodil Delight. So I'm just going to go in. Somebody told me they come in all colors one day, except, well, there was a couple of colors they didn't come in. So that's the light Daffodil Delight. And then I'm just going to go in and just add a little bit of the dark in the middle. There. I don't know. Are there two-tone zinnias? Well, I have one right there. All right, so we might as well color our leaves. So this one is, I'm going to color this one in light Old Olive. Like that. And then I'll go over and just kind of add in some of these dark lines with the dark old olive. And then I just blend over it a little bit with my light again. There we go. All right, so now I need my dies. There's one, there's two, and a little piece. Hey, Mern, welcome. Okay, you don't come in blue. All right, there we go. Now I know not blue, but I'm pretty sure they come in purple. I hope they come in purple. All right. Let's get this going the right way. There we go. I sometimes just kind of have to rotate my die around and around until I get it to fit properly. All right, I'm just going to grab my machine. And we will cut these. Thanks, Pam. Probably not. You're right. They probably don't care about the coloring. I just think this is so pretty. Gosh, it's fun to make your cards, your flowers or whatever you're making coordinate. Even if it's not realistic, make it coordinate with the designer series paper or what you're using. So, all right. So there's my zinnias. And I'm going to put some. So I grabbed some of this is the silver and white, or white and silver sheer ribbon. Silver and white sheer ribbon. What I love about this ribbon, and I'm going to cut, let's see, I need about, let's cut 16 inches or so. I'm not going to jip myself. We're learning. I'm learning, Betty. I'm learning. All right. And I'm going to color this. So I love this ribbon because you can color it using your Stampin' Blends. So I'm using the dark Highland Heather and just adding it. I'm going to have to wipe my glass mat before I put cardstock down on it because, of course, the ink is going through and it's also going on my fingers. So I'm just coloring it. You can do this with a lot of dark ribbons using the Stampin' Blends. You can also color embellishments. So you can kind of take a white or a clear embellishment and color it using the Stampin' Blends. Not the markers so much, but the Stampin' Blends for sure. All right, so that's colored. Now I got to grab a baby wipe. I'll be right back. Because I have ink all over my fingers. Oh, I sent you a card the other day and you don't know what die I used. All right. Well, if you send me a picture, I can tell you what die probably. I don't remember. All right. Okay, clean off my fingers. So now I've got ribbon that has got, oh, that's cool. Yeah, cork embellishments. So it's got a little tinge of purple to it. So you do want to dry it, let it dry a bit, otherwise it will get on your cardstock. But I'm going to just take it and hopefully it won't get all over the place. And I'm going to just tie a bow. And I'm going to tie the bow on the right-hand side because I'm going to put my flowers on the left. I love this ribbon. It is an online exclusive. It was carried over, I believe, from the holiday, the September to December mini catalog. So if you're looking for this ribbon, you won't find it in the catalog, but you will find it in the online store. At least I hope you will. That's where I last saw it. And I did order some fairly recently. So there, isn't that pretty with in the purple ribbon? And now that it's Ah, you figured it out. Oh, good. All right, so we'll just trim those. Okay, so I got my ribbon on, and I'm going to use Stampin' Seal to hold this in place. Usually I like to use, when I've got embossed, I like to use liquid glue, but because I've got ribbon on this and I want to hold that ribbon in place, I'm using the Stampin' Seal. So we'll just put that on like that. And if you want to, I might put a glue dot there. We'll see how it goes. But my flower is just going to go on like that using dimensionals. I'm going to cut these almost at the end. Okay. There we go. So I'm going to put that just up a little bit. And I'm going to take and add some dimensionals to the back of my leaves here. So we'll just tuck that under. Maybe we'll do that. Where do I want this leaf? We'll do that. Okay, and then the other leaves I cut. These are the extra dies. They kind of remind me of seaweed. I don't know why. Maybe because I'm used to seeing what grows around in our ocean. But anyway, they come with this. So I'm going to just add. I love adding sprigs to my cards. And so these are kind of the perfect sprigs. I cut them out of old olive. So I'm just going to take and put one kind of tucked under those leaves and one down on this bottom just to balance it out a little bit. And I like to use glue dots because I can just tuck it under and press it down. There we go. Everyday oh, those are so amazing, those dies. Yes, I love the Everyday Details dies. Okay, so all I need is a sentiment and some embellishments on this. And I'm going to do, remember I said I was going to do both kinds of embossing, both heat embossing and the embossing folder. So I need my embossing buddy. And I'm just going to go over I've got some black cardstock. I don't often emboss on black, but I am going to. And so this is going to say, I know what I want to do. Before I do that, I actually want to cut this. I'm actually going to cut my cardstock before I stamp it. Surprise, surprise. Not that I normally do that. And I've got a piece of Highland Heather that I'm going to cut. So I cut that an inch wide, and I'm going to cut my Highland Heather 1 1/4 wide. So there we go. Not going to fussy cut my sentiment for a change. All right, so there we've got my stamped sentiment that says thank you very much. And I'm going to use white embossing powder because I love the look of a white embossed sentiment on black. It just is very striking, like that. I'm just going to take and flick my embossing powder. And somewhere, we're digging for them and now they're gone. I found my tweezers. I went looking for them. They were buried in a little container. So now I've got my tweezers and my heat tool. So we're just going to take and heat this, hold it in one spot until it starts to melt. There we go. And then you can take and move it around. having a hard time seeing. I think that's everything. There we go. All right, so I've got my thank you so much. And I'm going to just take and cut at an angle the ends like that. And then I'm going to line this up on here. So it's just a little bit, it's a 1/4 of an inch. So this was an inch wide and this is a 1/4 of an inch bigger than that. So 1 1/4 inches wide. So I'm just going to line that up on here, roughly in place. And cut on the diagonal so that I get the same kind of angle. There we go. All right, and then we can use, I know it really would be, maybe it'll be coming in the new catalog because it would be great. So if you are a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, Stampin' Up! Has a suggestion box. And if they start to see requests like that, you never know, we might actually see the tweezers as a tool that you could buy separately because they are amazing. So if you don't know where to do that, let me know. I can tell you where to put your suggestions in. They do take look at those suggestions, and so we have seen them add things in based on the suggestions. All right, so I'm going to put that up here, I think, like that. Isn't that cool? I love the look of a white embossed sentiment on black. It just is really striking. So we'll put dimensionals again. So we'll pop this up even more because why not? And it'll go up in that corner. Now I need something down here. I kind of got kind of a blank hole there. So these are the purple fine shimmer gems. These are part of the there we go. They are part of the painted lavender, or perennial lavender suite, but I thought that they would go perfect with my purple card today. And they come in 2 sizes, big and little, and they actually even one of them. So there's 2 shades of purple, and then there's one that is closer to berry burst kind of color, so pinky color. So we'll add those there. And then the last thing is I've got a piece of basic white cardstock. And I just need my gorgeous grape. And there's a stamp with these little dots that I'm just going to take and just kind of stamp in the corner like that of the inside of the card, just so there's something on the inside of the card. And then this can go like that. There we go. Ooh, this is a really pretty card, I think. I'm always surprised. Well, I'm not surprised, but is my dog guarding Terry? Yeah, she wanted to go out, so she decided. She barks when she wants to go out, and so she never used to do that, but she's gotten in as she's gotten older. So yeah, that was her deciding she wanted to go out. And of course, I'm going to take some Wink of Stella, kind of as a last step on my card. And we'll just put some Wink of Stella on that pretty flower. You guys can't see that, but maybe a little bit there. Anyway, there we go. My purple zinnia and purple flower. Again, the challenge was to make a thank you card using designer series paper and embossing. And so I've used both the embossing folder and heat embossing on my sentiment. So hopefully you'll make a card. Yeah. Oh, I know. I have a neighbor who their dog rings a bell to go out. We never trained her to do that, so no, she barks, and then we let her out or take her out. All right, so hope you enjoy it. Share your cards that you make using a thank you sentiment, designer series paper and embossing. I'd love to see how you interpret that. Yeah, I might be sending you some happy mail if you share your cards in my Facebook group. All right, everybody, thanks for joining me. Now I will be back live on Saturday at 11 a.m. Pacific, so hopefully you will join me there then for another card. Hope you have a great evening. Happy stamping. Bye.